everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm glad you're here. Today I'm going to show you how to make a couple of cards using the Bouquet stamp and thin cut set along with the mix-in papers. Okay, so this is the Bouquet stamp set, comes with the matching thin cut, and then I'm going to use my sentiment from Levy background. The font for the thank you was really pretty, and then these are the mix-in papers. Okay, so let's get started. I've got this floral stamp loaded into my MISTI. I like to use my MISTI for large stamp images. It's just a lot easier to stamp them out, and then if you miss any spots, you can re-ink and stamp in the exact same place. So go ahead and stamp this out in black ink on white daisy. And first time worked. So I'll go ahead and clean up the MISTI, pull my image out, and off camera I'm going to color it in using tri-blend markers, and then I'll cut it out with the coordinating thin cut. Okay, so I'll make a list of all the marker colors that I used. Okay, so I'm bringing in my splat box and some of this white gloss spray, and I'm pulling the spritzer out of the bottle and tapping out some splatters of white gloss onto this image, make it look like some dewdrops. And then I'm going to add even more. I'm bringing in a clear shimmer brush, and I'm going to tap out some splatter of shimmer all over as well. Okay, now we're ready to start building a card. The longest part of this card design is coloring it in. So my second card, I'll show you a quicker way. Okay, so I'm going to stamp out my sentiment that says thank you using some bluebird ink on white daisy. And then I'm going to cut out my sentiment using the stacking banners die from waffle flowers. This creates a stacked banner that is stitched around the edges. So I'm cutting the sentiment in the rectangle shape, and then I'm going to layer it on top of the banner shape. You could easily create a banner just by dovetailing each end and cutting by hand. But I like the stitching around the edges of this one. So that's my sentiment. I'm going to use the same exact one for the second card as well. Okay, let's start building a card. I have my card base that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm going to stack a piece of black cardstock that's cut 1/8 of an inch smaller. And then on top of that, I'm going to stack a piece of bluebird that is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. So I have a tiny border of black around the bluebird. And then I'm going to bring in this piece of mix-in paper. It's got a really pretty botanical catalog / newsprint type look in mink. It's a nice subtle design that my floral will look pretty on top of. So I've cut that at 3 3/4 by 5. Add that, and then I'm going to pop my floral image with some thin foam tape. Get that added. And then I'm going to stack that banner. The sentiment is going to be popped with some thin foam tape. And then I'll just add it directly to my card front. So pretty. This stamp and die is going to get a lot of use. This flower it's easy to color, and it's just really pretty. Okay, for the last step, I'm going to add some of these crystals. These are from Buttons Galore and More, and it's the Jewels mix. And this one, it's kind of a black, purple, iridescent sort of look, and I'm just going to scatter a whole bunch of those around my flowers. And always add extra bling, right? So pretty. And there's my finished card. and I'll have some close-up shots. So pretty. So this design, the stamp and thin cut and the papers are from the new April, May, June catalog that went live on April 1st. So they're available, and I'll make a list of specific products that I used with links in the description below. Okay, so let's make another card. I have the same design in my Misty, and this time I'm going to use watercolor paper, and it's the Tim Holtz Distress watercolor paper, and I'm turning it over so the smooth side I'm going to stamp on, and I'm going to ink it up with Versamark ink. I'm going to use some of the Tim Holtz Distress embossing glaze, sorry, and this is in Rustic Wilderness, and it's a new product to me. Thought I'd give it a try, and I like the bright green color. And I'm just sprinkling it on, and I forgot to hit it with some anti-static powder first, but I lucked out and I didn't have any areas that powder should not be, so it worked out. Sometimes it works. And then I'm just hitting it with my heat tool, and I really like this glaze. The image is crisp and distinct, and the color is just beautiful, so I recommend it. Okay, so now I've cut my image out using the coordinating die, and then I'm going to bring my splat box in, and this is a quick way to add color to your image. I love these products. This is from Nuvo, and this is shimmer powder, and this one is called Lilac Waterfall. It comes in, there's like 14 or 15 different colors of this powder. So this one, it's got purple and reds and a little bit of yellow and blue in it, and you just tap out some powder onto your design and then spritz it with water. So you can use as much or as little water as you want. And then I like to go in with a brush and break up the concentrated bits of powder and mix them with the water. And it sort of has a watercolor effect, and you can kind of move it around depending on how much powder you lay down in the first place. You can add more if you need to, like here. It's really, sky's the limit as far as what you want to do with this, and you can let the water just move around and do its own thing, or help it like I am here. And the effect is just gorgeous. It's so pretty, all this shimmery color. That's everything. Every single project that you do with this product, it's different because depends on how the water reacts with the powder. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the white glaze and just tap out some splatters. Okay, so we'll set that aside to finish drying, and I'm going to do my sentiment. So I've already cut out this banner using the same waffle flower dies, and I'm going to use evergreen ink to stamp the word thank you, as it's the closest to the Rustic Wilderness glaze color. And then we're ready to start building our card. So it's the same design. I've got black, and then on top of that I'm going to layer evergreen cardstock, and then I have a piece of that same mix-in paper that I'm going to layer on top of the evergreen. And then we'll pop our floral image. This image, it'll be really pretty. I'm going to try it with some gold embossing powder. Maybe stamping on patterned paper. That could be pretty. And then you wouldn't have to color in the floral image. Lots of ideas are flying through my head with this flower, so it's lots of fun. You could fussy cut some of the smaller ones out and layer them and pop them, and all kinds of things. Okay, and then I've scattered some more of that same crystal around from Buttons Galore and More, and there are my two cards. So pretty. I wish the camera could pick up the shimmer and pearlescent effect of these shimmer powders. They're so pretty. It's a very cool product. I will make a list of all the supplies that I used for these 2 cards in the description below with links. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And thanks for watching.